What's going on, Neverwinter community? Frank back at it again. And I know it's been a while since you guys seen consistent Neverwinter videos, but in my opinion, there hasn't been consistent topics to make Neverwinter videos on. In the past videos that I've came up with that are not mainstream topics haven't done very well. So I've kind of done away with those, but I'm going to bring those back in 2020 to get you guys going again. So in this video here, we're going to be talking about 5 things I personally want to see in Neverwinter 2020. These might have been talked about in the new head of Neverwinter, whatever that guy's name is, or whatever have you. I haven't kept up with him, but this is me. This is what I personally want to see Neverwinter 2020. So with that being said, first and foremost, we need better mods. So one is better mods. I know there was a clip out there with the new false guy, whatever his name is, saying that he is going to try to implement a 2-mod format a year, which is fine by me, but they have to be good mods. For example, Acquisition Incorporated was trash. Mod 17 was trash, but it gave us new companion gear, so it wasn't as bad, but content-wise, it was all the same stuff as Mod 16, but with Fragment Expeditions and Warden Expeditions, and a Tower of Mad Mage. But the actual content itself was kind of There was no campaign, there was no grinding. Like, before where you got on and did your dailies every day, and you progressed through a little bit through the campaign section, there's none of that. So, if that's what you guys want to do, and if that's where we're heading at, I'm fine with, but please make the 2 mods the best they can be. Don't bring them out with a bunch of bugs and a bunch of nonsense, and pretty much alienate the community as always, like you did before. So with that being said, number 1 is better mods. Number 2 is better events / updating events. The big thing to me when it comes to mine when I say that is the Halloween event. They've introduced vanity pets this in 2019. They dropped the ball when it comes to vanity pets for the Halloween event. They could have gotten a ghost to follow you, a small jack-o'-lantern, a little wolf, anything. They could have had endless opportunities to make vanity pets to change a little bit about this Halloween event, and they did not do anything. The only thing they added that was new was a new faction that you can join. And with the new faction and the other 2 being the same, everyone joined the new faction. So even if you did like the old 2, there was no chance that you were getting it because the 3rd faction was new and that's one they picked. But other than that, they didn't do anything. In 2018 Halloween event, they added the Enchanted Broom, which everyone and their mother got on the game and grinded for. This one, they've added a new faction. And at that point, no one was getting on the game grinding for it. I mean, that faction's going to win, but there was nothing for veteran players to do. Newer players that haven't experienced it was cool. Veteran players, not so much. We already grinded for the Enchanted Broom. We don't need to do it again unless you want to know another character, which is kind of pointless. But not only that, they could have brought out numerous mounts. In the Winter Festival last year, they brought out the Yeti mount where you sat on top of the Yeti's shoulder and he carried you around. Imagine that with any of the huge ghouls that were in the Enclave. Imagine. Big opportunities wasted, not only with this, but the other small events. The only thing that they've done well with the events is Tales of the Old. Me personally, Tales of the Old is the best thing that they've introduced in 2019. They've done a phenomenal job with it. Hats off to you. Take that concept and bring out some other stuff. And again, it's just not the Halloween event. It's the Winter Festival. They did bring out a vanity pet, which is good. I'm glad. They brought a new mount, which is good. I'm glad. Keep that. Keep adding new things. Get people involved. Get people, I haven't played and the Neverwinter Festival is up. Let me hit that. The Summer Festival, let me get that. You have to do a better job bringing people back into the game. back into the game. And a good way to do that is topic number 3, new class to play. They've been talking about it for a while, about bringing a new class to play, a barb, a monk, a druid, whatever have you. And they've said in the past that they want to make sure that they've balanced and every character is in a good spot in this game before they bring out a new one, which then diverts everyone's attention from the class they were playing to a new one. I get that. But you've been talking about that for quite some time, and you were on the right path until you decided to switch everything up and bring out the rework for every single character in 2019. So now we're back at square one, where every other day you guys are bringing out a patch, fixing this, fixing that, fixing this, fixing that. At this point, there's no point. And I know that they have to follow the D&D format now, since they're like aligned with like the characters in that and everything. But there's plenty of characters in that format for you to choose to bring out. And if and when you guys do bring those out, please make those financially affordable for not only in-game players, but for the casuals and the beginners. Everyone should have a chance to get it. Don't make the pack 50,000 Zen, and the only people who are buying it is the people who have millions and millions and millions and millions of AD. Please. Please. Begging you. 3, new class to play. 4. Now, again, this is going to help new and mid-tier players, and it's going to help some in-game players, but bring out a tooltip, a place to go inside the game to get these stats that you need these recommended stats that you need to complete, dungeons for each section, for each level of enemy. That will make it very helpful for people gearing up and grinding and getting ready. An official stat overlook of, hey, you need 80,000 defense to survive, Lair of the Mad Mage. You need, 65,000 armor pen to do decent damage to the enemies in Lair of Mad Mage. Things like that. Please make that happen. Please make that easy to access inside the game for everyone. That way people know, hey, I'm starting off and I want to do Lair of Lostmouth, and I should have X amount of stats before I should even try it. If not, I'm not going to enjoy the full experience of Lair of Lostmouth. And that's just an example. A lot of these dungeons aren't going to be played, which brings me to the 5th and final thing. I know the Tales of the Old are kind of doing it in a smaller scheme, but bring back a reason for people to farm these older dungeons. You've done it in the past when you brought out transmods for, the Spinneret and the Pirate's Hat and things like that, but make those harder to obtain and sellable in the auction house, and make those worthwhile transmute so people are going to grind for these things and sell them on the auction house, right? Because we need stuff to do, and 2, we need more ways to make AD, because me personally, I'm a DPS, and I go in, I get on, and I queue in for a trial or queue in for a dungeon, and it literally takes 20 minutes for me to get in there to get 25,000 AD. There is, the MEs, the HEs, the WEs, the FEs, all those E's out there to get lock boxes and to open them and get AD and get an artifact to sell. But there's only so many of those you can do a day, and there's only so many of those that you want to do a day. So you're like, all right, I'm bored of this. I'm going on to, something more exciting like FPS or another MMO. You basically want to retain everyone's attention for this game as long as possible, so you get more people here and more people spending money. That's what it's about. Maybe dive into something else. And one more thing I want to talk about, I guess this is a 6th reason or an extra reason. Certain games have done this in the past. For example, when you have this specific gear set that drops out of a dungeon, right? have it drop a chest. We'll say chest of the 9 hells, for example. And when you open that chest, you get to pick if you want the head, the chest, the legs, or the arms to complete your set. Right? To complete your set. So you're not getting the head every 5 dungeons and you still need a chest for 6 months. That is something that has been introduced in WoW, for example. And that's something that we could probably take in effect here in Neverwinter so you guys can, so we can get the armor we need. Now, there's other reasons that I went in 2020, but I didn't want to make this video 20 minutes long so you guys can get your way through this video. And it'll be a nice topic to talk about to start pushing out videos. What I want to do is I want to make a barb tank build. So if you guys have any recommendations for that, let me know in the comments below. And I'm going to bring out some more videos for Neverwinter. And for those who have made it this far, I'm going to still be bringing out videos on Borderlands and any other game that I want to talk about. So with that being said, there will be more Neverwinter content. So please don't unsubscribe because you see Borderlands 3 videos coming out, because there's going to be Borderlands 3, because Borderlands 3 is easier to make content with, being that there's a lot of things to do on there. So with that being said, this is 5 things, well, 6 things, you guys, I want to see in Neverwinter 2020. Hopefully, at least half of them come to fruition. And if you made it this far, appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.